Starting us off at number 10 are the ancient Egyptians, arguably my favorite ancient civilization, maybe tied with the Greeks and the Romans. I mean, they had the femme fatale Cleopatra as their leader, so hello girl power. Their pyramids were a feat in and of themselves. They worshipped cats, like I would fit right in there. Now, the ancient Egyptian civilization existed between 3150 BC and 30 BC and is one of the oldest civilizations on this list. They functioned as a series of stable kingdoms before Upper and Lower Egypt became unified. Achievement-wise, I think we look to Egypt for a lot of art, culture, and other societal advancements. Their irrigation systems were before their time, they practiced effective medicine, they even made the earliest known peace treaty, but the one achievement the world is still truly amazed by are their construction techniques. The pyramids and the Sphinx are freaking incredible. I've never seen them in real life, but I really want to. But it's widely believed that the pyramids were made by moving huge stones to the location and lifting them into place. But skeptics believe it was aliens that built the pyramids, because how on earth can an ancient civilization accomplish an architectural feat like that? Yeah, aliens could have come and built them, or the ancient Egyptians could have been aliens themselves. Coming in at number 9 are the ancient Greeks, and boy did I love learning about them too. We had this Roman Greek day in my primary school, so my mom made me a cute toga and stuff for me to wear, and not gonna lie, I was the most fashionable person in year 5 that day. No cap. It's the truth. Now, the ancient Greek civilization existed from 2700 BC to 479 BC and was the epicenter of many things we still do today, most notably the Olympics and the concept of democracy. The Parthenon, their sculptures, they laid the foundations for modern physics, geometry, and biology. They had people like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Archimedes, thinkers and philosophers we still quote a lot today. Now, how is it possible that this civilization had so many great minds and ideas? Isn't the common belief that the older the civilization, the more almost backward and clueless they were? That's not true from any angle with the Greeks, which makes me think about aliens. We've always believed their intelligence is way more advanced than ours, and so what if the ancient Greek civilization was speckles with some aliens that gave them the ideas that humans needed in order to progress forward? Did they help us? Dramatic gasp. At number 8 we have the Indus Valley Civilization. This famous civilization existed between 3300 BC and 1900 BC and was located in current-day northeast Afghanistan, Pakistan, and northwest India. This one is one of the oldest on the list. It's like in the top 3 along with Egypt and Mesopotamia. At the time, it was the biggest civilization since it spread over 1.25 million kilometers, and since the people were settled around the Indus River basin, they had a good source of food and water. I can't say this one is ancient, because unlike the others on this list that ended, this one is still going. It was mostly farming settlements in 4000 BC, but by 2600 BC there were a ton of cities built everywhere. In fact, it often had the best scientific achievements out of all the civilizations, and they were arguably the most prosperous out of all of them. They were known for their extensive urban planning, drainage systems, non-residential buildings, handicrafts, and more. Like, these mans have commercial buildings out here, like why? Shouldn't you be trying to figure out how to create fire? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Prehistoric rock paintings found in Tirama show humans wearing what look like modern spacesuits and drawings of UFOs. Now, why would they be there unless a civilization had seen these things or come into contact with them already? Perhaps they came from them. Filling our number 7 slot is the Incan civilization, and me and producer Chris really don't know if it's INCAN or INCAN, so yeah. We had that back and forth. Guys, I'm just gonna switch it up throughout the paragraph. Whatever comes to me instinctually is just gonna come to me, you know what I mean? Also known as current-day Peru, Ecuador, and Chile. The Incan civilization spanned between 1438 AD and 1533 AD, and its empire was the largest South American empire because it truly flourished in every way. It was well established, they transformed the capital from a village to a city shaped like a puma. They were an expansionist civilization that assimilated other cultures into theirs quite seamlessly, and that's something we have trouble doing even now. The Incans' military, trade, and fishing were highly advanced, but again, the most impressive feature about them was their architecture, making things like Machu Picchu and the city of Cusco. Machu Picchu is a citadel located on top of a 7,940-foot mountain range and was initially built as a royal estate for an emperor. They made the whole thing on fractured rocks and somehow used local materials to bind them together and fit, which is pretty impressive. Their road system was also very well made, so it begs the question, did they have extraterrestrial help? Are they extraterrestrials themselves? We don't know. Now at number 6 is the Aztec civilization. Now it's only fitting we talk about the Aztecs right after the Incans, since they were emerging around the same time the Incans were really establishing themselves. The Aztec civilization was located where current day Mexico is during 1345 AD to 1521 AD. Ironically, at the end of the 1200s, the civilization was actually made up of 3 rivaling cities. We have Texcoco, Tlacopan, and Tenochtitlan. Guys, slow clap for me for pronouncing those. Good for me. Now 125 years later, the people of these cities banded together and created a new state which arose to prominence as the Mayans fell. Tenochtitlan was the military hub of the Aztec civilization and was the place which decided what the next conquest would be. Their reach even spread to places like Guatemala and Chiapas. The Spanish came in the 1500s, bringing about the decline of the Aztecs, but that wasn't before they made their mark. They built incredible temples, their art was unmatched, and their construction techniques were also on point. But nothing super alien-y. Now let's jump forward to 1947 and the Roswell UFO incident. What if the ancient Aztecs were aliens and left Earth after the Spanish conquered them? Maybe they finally decided to return hundreds of years later, but the attempt backfired. Why Roswell of all places? Coming in at number 5 is the Persian civilization. Honestly, anytime I hear the word Persia, my mind immediately goes to the Prince of Persia game because I played it so much when I was younger. Anyway, the Persian civilization existed between 550 BC and 331 BC, and it was located where modern day Iran is, which I feel like is a bit of a no-brainer. Now, once upon a time, this civilization was actually the most powerful one in the world and took over 2 million square miles of land. At their peak, they controlled Egypt and all of Central Asia. They expanded so freaking quickly in the space of 200 years, which is really nothing, but it's not their empire and military might that impresses me, it's their architecture and art. I absolutely love all Persian architecture. They're so intricate, colorful, and you can just feel how culturally rich they are. A lot of complex instruments, music, and dances originated from there, and I mean their rugs are basically in every person's household. My house back home has 18 Persian rugs, like what even is that? What even is that? Iran, it seems to be a place where UFOs have tended to lean towards. In 1976, there was a radar and visual sighting of a UFO over Tehran, but anytime aircraft tried to get near it, there would be electromagnetic interference. Then, a few years later, thousands of people saw what looked like a UFO in the sky. Then the same thing happened again in 2003, and there's so many more instances. Why are all these UFOs just attracted to Iran? Do they have ties? And number 4 is the civilization of Atlantis, parentheses, question mark, parentheses. Not the luxury hotel resort and water park, the underwater lost kingdom. Now Plato first mentioned Atlantis in 360 BC, and it was meant to be an insanely powerful kingdom with technology more advanced than ours and an unmatchable navy. Fast forward around 9600 BC, a terrible disaster hits and the island sank into the sea, never to be seen again. Many teams have tried to find Atlantis over the years, notably a man called Simcha Jacobovici, who dove into the Marianas Trench. All he found was 6 Bronze Age stone anchors near Spain, which seemed to have come from a civilization existing 4,000 years ago, which was way off. But many people believe because their technology was so advanced, they found a way to disappear to us but still exist by themselves. Perhaps they cracked the code to living completely underwater and invisible as humans, and that's what they've been doing since 9600 BC, who knows? Plato never clarified how advanced was. Many people also believe an underwater tomb belonging to one of Atlantis' early leaders is the entrance to the hidden kingdom. But all this seems far beyond the capability of any civilization, no matter how advanced they are. Doesn't seem too far-fetched for an alien civilization though, and maybe the entrance to the underwater tomb can only be opened by one of them. Maybe they fled Atlantis and hid it because they were going to return to it one day. Filling our number 3 slot is the Maya civilization. Now I thought it was Mayan as well, but apparently in modern day society we call it Maya. Maybe wrongly famous for making everyone think the world was gonna end in 2012, this civilization existed between 2600 BC and 900 AD, and it was located in parts of current-day Mexico and Central/South America. They peaked at around 2600 BC and had a population of 19 million people, which was insane. By 700 BC, they had created their own writing system, which they then used to make solar calendars. In terms of art, any Maya art is exclusively to do with their elite population. The society specialized in craft craft, which is why their architecture is as amazing as it is. It was estimated back then that it would take 67 days for men to build a commoner's hut, but around 10,686 days to build an elite person's residence. But the urban city of Tikal would have taken millions of man days, which begs the question of how did they do it? I'm guessing they had help. There are also tombs located under some of their structures which haven't been opened yet, which has me thinking that whoever locked them will come back for their contents one day. Now at number 2 is the Mesopotamian civilization. Known as the first civilization in the world, it existed from 3500 BC to 500 BC and it was located in present-day Turkey, Iraq, and Syria. Sumerian was the earliest language and they were surprisingly modern when it came to gender roles. Both men and women had to learn how to read and write, which I mean slow clap to you, we went really backwards after that before we finally got back to that path. Art existed way before Mesopotamia, but that's because it was part of human culture, not civilization. They refined it and formalized it and made art a thing. They excelled at maths too, using a sexagesimal numeral system, aka with a base of 60. That's why an hour has 60 minutes, a day has 24 hours, and a circle is 360 degrees. Facts. Mesopotamians even figured out how to control flooding, store water, make glass and lamps, make weapons, and they created the initial laws of the world and the Code of Hammurabi. As the first of their type, I think that's pretty noteworthy. On the other hand, they also believed the earth was a flat disc, but I feel like we can just sweep that under the rug. You know, they achieved a lot more. We can just you know, believers think that aliens were on the earth before humans, and if that's the case, what if the first civilization was all them, helping us get a head start in this difficult world that we call life? Maybe they're not as bad as we think. And finally, at number 1 are the ancient Romans. Honestly, such a brutal era, but also one of my top 3 favorites for sure. Dubbed as the most powerful ancient civilization, the Roman civilization existed between 550 BC and 465 AD and isn't known for one thing, but many. It went from being an elective monarchy to a democratic republic to a military dictatorship. Like, the Romans have really been through it all. They controlled 5 million square kilometers of land, which had 20% of the world's population in it at the time. The ancient Romans inspired modern republics like France, and the aqueduct and road systems were state of the art for the time. The Romans had some of the greatest emperors in history: Julius Caesar, Augustus, Octavian, and more. Now, as great as they were equally brutal as well. And since their history is so vast and goes so far back, they've had their fair share of alien-related sightings. In 218 BC, philosopher Titus Livius saw a number of gleaming ships in the sky, and it was 218 BC, you guys. You bet your airplanes or satellites weren't even an idea at that time. In 76 BC, Pliny the Elder saw a spark from a falling star. It grew as it ascended till it looked like it was the size of the moon before ascending back up into the sky and to the heavens. That's 2 instances out of the many that I found. So why were aliens trying to communicate with the Romans so bad? Were there people among them?
A new UFO sighting took place tonight. This footage was filmed in the USA. Thermal analysis shows what could be a smaller ship flying around, and a much larger mothership behind it. Save and share this video before it's too late.
Oh my god, that is so scary. Also, why do they have to say save and share this video before it's too late? That just creeps me out. Don't say things like that. Like, that and the music, it just makes me think that it's the end of the world. That looked like an alien ship, and the whole lightning and spooky atmosphere is not helping. Oh no, the aliens are coming. We gotta prepare. We need a secret underground bunker. Shut up, don't say that, Chris. I know, but don't scare me.
A 30-second video from Jharkhand is going viral all over the internet. In the video, a strange, eerie-looking human figure can be seen strolling down the road. The video was apparently recorded on the Chhadwa Dam Bridge in the Hazaribagh district by some bikers. Seeing that, some are saying that it is an alien and some are claiming it to be a ghost. After the appearance, there has been a war on the social media sites among the people to determine the exact type of supernatural being that the creature is.
Maybe it's a ghost alien. Maybe it's a ghost and an alien, a ghost alien. Why is it so creepy? Like, it's so lanky and weird. But at the same time, I feel like aliens are more stealthy than that, you know? Like, I feel like it wouldn't just be walking like, oh, da, 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 hey yo, what's up, you know? Like, just for everyone to see. They've been stealthy and hiding themselves for years, potentially, on Earth, so why would they just reveal themselves now? It doesn't really make sense. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he's just not a good alien. Maybe that's what it is. But it's really creepy. Like, legs were so skinny. Like, that did not look like a human. That looked like a creature of some sort. Ugh. Also, alien, if you're watching this video, just kidding, you're beautiful, love you.
I got it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
What the hell?
That strange light in the sky is one of 1,100 UFO sightings in Canada last year. According to the annual survey released by Ufology Research of Manitoba, there are at least 3 such sightings in the country every day.
UFO reports are still a thing. People are reporting them in greater and greater numbers every year.
I'm never going to BC. It's beautiful there, and I was like, I want to go this summer. Yeah, 3 sightings of UFOs per day? Yeah, that's where they're hiding. They're hiding in the wilderness there. Them and the Bigfoot, they're just hiding there together. Or maybe that was Bigfoot roaming through the forest shining his flashlight. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's not even an alien after all. Maybe it's Bigfoot. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today we are looking at the top 10 real alien encounters caught on camera, and it's pretty spooky so far. And if you guys believe in aliens, then make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Also comment something down below, because I like to read your comments. With that being said, let's dive on into the video.
Just about 4:45 and take a look at this viral video from La Junta in southeastern Colorado. All right, Vivian Gomez wrote on Facebook that her security camera captured this on Sunday morning. There are people on Facebook who say it looks like Dobby from Harry Potter, or a ghost or an alien, or a kid in flip-flops and underwear.
Maybe that. Maybe it's a kid in flip-flops and underwear, like na 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 na. I can't see an alien doing the chicken dance. It has to be a kid. Come on. But also, it does look like Dobby. It's not Dobby. Dobby. I feel like she said it weird. Anyways, it does look like Dobby from Harry Potter. That is a house elf for sure, okay? He was like, Harry Potter must not come to Hogwarts. Bad Dobby, bad Dobby. And then that was him leaving after the cake got. If you know Harry Potter, then you know. What the hell is that? Ew. Oh, I literally got the shills. I literally got the chills watching that. Like, this alien was trying to be stealthy and hide behind some tombstones, but it wasn't working. Look at its head. That is massive. That's a massive alien head. That is terrifying. That's like the creature from Predator. I'm sorry. I don't like that thing at all. That cemetery needs to be burned down. No, just no.
Why does it look like that? I don't get it. I mean, why does it look like that? I mean, it doesn't look like a plane, it looks like a saucer. I just don't get it. Can someone help me figure this one out? I mean, if you think that looks like a plane, I just don't get it. I'm looking at it carefully. And of course, you know, I'm driving in the middle of traffic. I'm trying to get as close as I can to it. And I just cannot figure out what the hell I'm looking at.
That is for sure UFO. Like, that literally looks like a spacecraft. Either that, or it's Ron and Harry going to Hogwarts in their flying car. That's also what it looks like. Man, we got the freaking house elf, and now we got, like, this is just confirmation that Hogwarts is real. Hogwarts is real, man. Yo, wizard Harry. Yo, wizard Lindsay. I wish I was. Cadabra. Lindsay Porter. Oh my. That That is an alien. That's an alien. Either that or someone is really good at special effects and has a really expensive alien costume. Because it doesn't really make sense to me. Wouldn't an alien like be like, oh snap, there's a human, or something, and make them forget? You know, like the Men in Black, how they have the little flashy light. I feel like an alien just like points at you and then you forget that you saw an alien. Wouldn't you think, like, this is just too casual, him just, oh hey, what's up? Yeah, you can videotape me. Make sure you get this angle. Yeah, I'll just do my slow model walk. You know, like it doesn't make sense to me. Also, this alien looks like the one from Scooby-Doo. It's with the green humanoid head. That's Scooby-Doo. Anyway.
Check out this video from one of our viewers, Mash Hatai. He said he woke up at about 2:30 this morning, get a drink of water, and this is what he saw in the sky. Certainly caught his eye. He took the video from Kaka'ako and thinks the lights were over Central or West Oahu, hard to tell from his vantage point. As you can see, the two bright lights, and then slowly a third light appears. Hatai believes he saw about 8 to 10 of the lights total.
What the hell? Guys, aliens might be real, and it's scary to say that out loud. How else do you explain this? Like, also let me know in the comments below if you've ever had a creepy alien encounter, because now I want to know. Let me know in the comments below.
Something is in the sky. What is that?
This video was taken by Misitina Sape at 8:26 Tuesday night near Haleakala Avenue in Nanakuli. Not long after, a woman named Mariah spotted the same thing passing over Princess Kahanu Estates.
I looked up, and then I was like, oh, started calling my husband then because we was all in the garage. I was like, hey, look up there. See what I see. They all said, yeah.
The 38-year-old says she's never really been a believer in UFOs, but the bright blue object had them so intrigued they jumped in the car and started following it.
I don't know what it was. This one was going so fast.
The journey ended less than 3 miles from where it began, on Farrington Highway in front of the Board of Water Supply building, after the object appeared to drop into the ocean.
Oh my god, do the aliens live in the ocean? Like, was it just returning home? Maybe that's why we haven't found them, because they store their spacecraft underwater in the depths in Mariana's Trench. Love that band. But like, in the depths down there, that's where the aliens are hiding, where we can't go. Wow. Maybe that's where they are. Also, they are brave for following this. They're like, yeah, let's just get in the car and follow this potential UFO that could kill us. Yeah, let's just do it. Typical Tuesday.
Now it is darkened outside. Temperatures are sitting at 61 in Buffalo. We have a northerly wind at 7. Good sleeping weather tonight, folks. What was that? Did anybody see that thing go past? Did we just see a shooting star? Good sleeping weather tonight, folks. What was that? Did anybody see that thing?
Nothing impressive compared to the other ones. That was probably just a shooting star. This guy was just trying to hype it up. He's like, how can I make the news more interesting? Whoa, did everyone see that? No, that wasn't a piece of my dandruff flying by the screen. It was actually UFO. So, I'm famous now. I caught it on camera.
The Pentagon has confirmed a strange and unexpected sight captured by Navy personnel off the coast of California. The video shows flying pyramid-shaped objects hovering above the USS Russell and another warship.
It was leaked by filmmaker Jeremy Corbell. He's also shared 3 images from the USS Omaha showing an unknown spherical craft. The Pentagon has confirmed its unidentified aerial phenomena task force, what a task force that is examining the footage.
That guy got really into the story. I think he believes in aliens. He's like, spherical crafts, yeah, aliens. That's literally what he sounded like. The Pentagon revealed that like it was a UFO. But UFO is technically unidentified flying object, so it doesn't mean that it's an ET, it just means that they don't know what the hell it was, which makes me feel better. So maybe it's not aliens, maybe it's just like a drone. I don't know. I'm scared.
Navy pilots say they saw something that defies the limits of known aviation technology. My gosh. They've been popping up around our national security facilities and baffling veteran military personnel.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
And civilians, including commercial airline pilots, are also seeing it.
We just had something go right over the top of us.
Here's a rendering of what an American Airlines pilot reported.
I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object. It almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast. It went right over the top.
Okay, that scares me for a number of reasons. Number one, they said that there was a whole bunch of them flying in the sky. Hello? Are aliens trying to invade Earth now? Like, why can't we just live side by side in peace? Like, what happened to we come in peace? Like, come on, be a good alien. Number two, what if it's like another country spy? Like, I read about this. It could be another country spying on us through these craft type things. I don't know. Either way, it's spooky and I'm scared.
An unidentified aerial phenomenon dropped down on the Florida coast. First thing in the morning we drove to the beach to find it. This is what we saw when we got there. We tried to get closer but the officers on the beach saw us. When we got home this man was at our house. For days we have seen suspicious vehicles in front of our place. If anyone knows what we should do, please let us know.
You need to move, that's what you should do. A UFO literally crashed down on the beach by your house. That's time to pack up and leave, okay? And literally they're describing like the Men in Black coming there and like, oh, so you see anything suspicious lately? Any ETs, UFOs? Let me know. That is scary, seriously. Pack up and get the heck out of there. Again, wait, hold up. I think I just put two and two together. I think I just solved this whole alien thing. Again, it crashed down by water. What if this UFO was trying to enter the water? Like I said before, aliens actually live deep down below in the ocean. Again, this kind of proves it. So, just saying. Just saying.
Kicking off the list at number 10, ancient Sumerians. The Mesopotamian civilization was formed in what's now Iraq and Kuwait. Now these civilizations began around the Neolithic Revolution, so around 12,000 BCE, give or take. Now sometimes it's referred to as the cradle of civilization because Mesopotamia was one of the first places to develop agriculture, being right in the middle of Egyptian and Indus Valley civilizations. So of course there are these ancient Sumerian tablets, and in these tablets we start to question our own history. In 1842, British archaeologist Austin Henry Layard discovered ruins of this great royal archive, just thousands of tablets made of clay. Pretty much the world's oldest overdue library books, just so dusty. These tablets showed Sumerians engaging in a social night. This scene here depicts a banquet from around 2600 BC. That was actually the world's first bender, believe it or not, fun fact. Ancient gods of Mesopotamia were said to have wings and the ability to control all of humanity. These gods were the Anunnaki, and some believe they were 8 feet tall, and they were also aliens from another planet. The Sumerians wrote one of the oldest tales in human history. They wrote the Epic of Gilgamesh, so maybe these alien gods inspired them, perhaps. I don't know. I'd probably write a book if 8-foot-tall winged gods landed in my crops. I'd probably write 2 books, in fact. Number 9, Sumer. The National Museum of Iraq is home to many ancient artifacts, and it has the Nimrod gold collection, just this fancy jewelry from the 9th century. It also has Uruk tablets from 3000 BCE, and these ancient jars with mysterious designs, one of which was this. This piece was made around 4000 BC, and it shows a creature that resembles a human, or an alien. It's basically got big eyes, lanky arms, a long body, a long neck. Is this me? Am I a time traveler? What's going on here? Many believe that this is evidence of early visitors. Even an Iraqi minister claimed that ancient Sumerians would visit Pluto in advanced spacecraft 1,000 years back. Their transport minister told reporters that the world's first ancient alien airport was built there in 5000 BC. That's a hard fact. The civilization of Sumer, according to Kazim Finjan, was an alien airport. Nice, sounds good. Be there soon. Quick pit stop at Uranus. Lol. Number 8, the Madonna with Saint Giovanni. For this next one, we'll be taking a look at a painting from the 15th century, #art. By artist Domenico Ghirlandaio, this painting is currently in the Hall of Hercules in Palazzo Vecchio in Florence. The painting shows the Virgin Mary, the infant Jesus, and St. John the Baptist. Now the old baby Jesus was lying on the woman's garments, and over her right shoulder we can see this object floating in the sky. And what's even more interesting is that a man is looking up at said object, and he's even covering his eyes from the sun to get a better look. Also, this dog is barking at this object in the sky, so something is afoot. Art historians believe the flying saucer is an angel resembling a cloud, while others believe it's a clear sign of alien visitors. What do you guys think? Was this the 15th century version of drawing the sun at the top corner of your painting? Or did this mystery artist document UFO footage with his own brush? Sound off in the comments below. Number 7, the Pyramids of Egypt. Built over 4,500 years ago, the Pyramids of Giza are these massive tombs where ancient pharaohs and queens were laid to rest. Around 15 million visitors get an up-close look at these beautiful structures once a year, and for a long time, we've speculated just how these incredible things were built. Well, Tesla CEO Elon Musk put forth his hot take on the matter, and he claims the landmark was built by aliens. The guy's pretty much an alien himself. A guy who launches cars into space for fun also believes in aliens. July 31st, 2020, Elon simply tweeted, "Aliens built the pyramids, obvi." Now, since that tweet, Egypt's International Cooperation Minister has called out Elon, asking for him and the rest of SpaceX to check out the tombs of the pyramid builders. Until the early 20th century, the pyramid built for the pharaoh Khufu was the largest building on the planet. Laborers had to move 6.5 million tons of stone with only wood and rope. The three largest pyramids of Giza have a deep connection as well to the cosmos. The stars of the constellation Orion were once associated with Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of rebirth and afterlife. Another huge theory is that an advanced race of aliens came to Earth with all this future technology, and that's how they were able to build these pyramids. Which I gotta say, I kind of believe that more. That's pretty, I can't even lift a box without pulling my back out, let alone a pyramid. Number 6, Antikythera mechanism. After being submerged for over 2,000 years, we believe we found the oldest known analog computer. In 1901, near the Greek island Antikythera, divers found a Roman shipwreck full of treasure, jewelry, statues, and an ancient planetary alignment device. In 1959, Derek de Soya Price discovered its true purpose. Now, for many years, nobody really knew what this thing was. Obviously, it looks like rusted junk. It was to keep track of the planets and the moon. They didn't have a horoscope app back then to look at while they're on the bus. They had to align this mechanism with the month of the year. Now, one of the gears was specifically designed to keep track of when the next Olympics are, which is pretty hilarious. You can never be too early, I guess. Of course, there's theories that aliens left this piece of technology behind because of how advanced it is, and that would make sense. They came to Earth to watch the Olympics, watch some guy huck a javelin, some deep space entertainment. I back this theory, let's do it. Number 5, the NAZCA line. We've all heard of alien crop circles at one point or another. I mean, I myself remember watching the movie Signs when I was younger and I couldn't sleep for like 13 years. I don't know. So this next one obviously freaked me out. Just 200 miles southeast of Peru, we can find hundreds of markings etched into the earth. They're massive pieces of art, like crop circles, but more intimidating, one would say. The biggest ground graffiti spans over 1,200 feet, and many believe this was an ancient ritual for water. Given its location, that theory certainly checks out. Another theory, written in 1968 in Eric von Daniken's book Chariot of the Gods, suggests that ancient Nazca was a site for alien visitors, which is why we're here now. Leaving behind knowledge in the form of these massive doodles, as well as technology like we talked about earlier. Number 4, SACSAYHUAMAN. Located in Peruvian Andes, this fortress was built by the Inca way back in the 15th century, just outside of the Inca capital of Cusco. It was made out of these massive, giant rocks, but the intriguing part is just how these rocks connect with one another. They looked perfectly chiseled to fit, almost like it was broken and then pieced back together. These 1,000-year-old walls are made of incredibly heavy stone, over 350 tons each, and they weren't just rolled down a hill or two, they had to be moved more than 20 miles to make up this fortress. We've recently discovered that ropes and pulley systems were used, they were definitely a part in this, but we also have to mention the elongated skulls that were found in the 1920s by archaeologist Giulio Citella. Were these skulls formed using binding techniques, or is this an alien graveyard for the builders of said fortress? Who knows? Number 3, Easter Island, Moai. These massive ancient statues have been quite popular in pop culture. They're pretty interesting to look at, but they're also pretty creepy. Reaching up to 13 feet tall and weighing over 80 tons, the indigenous Rapa Nui claim that these statues once roamed the land. That is so scary. 18th century Europeans had no idea how these things were built, but many were convinced that these statues were moving by themselves. Are aliens levitating these stones? Are they playing the world's largest game of chess? Or did humans somehow move these 1,000-pound rocks around with just their hands and they just pushed them as hard as they could? Another theory is that aliens of course built this in their own image, which is pretty badass. They're like, here, look at these giant statues, remember our faces. Number 2, Chichen Itza. Once a booming city with a diverse population, Chichen Itza was a Mayan city located in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Now the Itza were a group of Mayans who had power in the northern part of the peninsula, right where this city was. Its main attraction is of course this ancient pyramid. If you've seen the movie The Ruins, you'll recognize this area and also get goosebumps. Instead of evil plant life, the pyramid does include signs of alien life. These hieroglyphs included advanced mathematics, and they say that it was bestowed upon them from the gods. Recently, about 200 artifacts were discovered in a cave under Chichen Itza, and also a lost city the size of Manhattan was found underground. The most interesting claim of alien life are these UFO landing sites also hidden deep in the surrounding jungles. Aliens definitely built this, and this is where they first lived. That's my claim. And finally, number 1, the lost city of the Incas. Currently a wonder of the modern world, Machu Picchu was built over 500 years ago. It was first discovered in 1911 by archaeologist Hiram Bingham when he and a small team were originally heading out to find the ancient city of Vilcabamba. But during their commute from Cuzco, they found this landmark. Many of these stones, of course, weighed a lot, over 50 tons, and with Machu Picchu translating to Old Mountain, this seems like an impossible build from the Inca. The city is designed perfectly. I mean, after 500 years of foul weather, even earthquakes have yet to destroy this ancient city. It's pretty impressive. Just like in the Peruvian Andes, elongated skulls were too found at this site. Another sign of Inca royalty or another sign of alien builders. You already know my guess.
Starting off this countdown, we have Spring-Heeled Jack. Was Spring-Heeled Jack a mere legend to scare kids and adults, or was he actually a real person? You decide. So back in Victorian England, they had to worry about this terrifying man that would visit homes in the middle of the night. This man would ring the doorbell, and when someone would answer it, he would attack them. He was given the name Spring-Heeled Jack as witnesses said he had the ability to jump great distances and heights. Victims say he looked like a man dressed in red shoes and armor. Others claim he would wear loose-fitting black clothes with a helmet. He was also described as having a wicked smile. The very first sighting of Spring-Heeled Jack was in October of 1837. A woman named Mary Stevens was walking in her town when a tall man in a coat jumped down from a building right in front of her. He then attacked her and even tried to kiss her. Kinda weird. Someone heard her screams of terror and thankfully came to her rescue. They both saw Jack leap away. After this, more and more women fell victim to Jack. One in fact described him as wearing a very tight-fitted outfit that resembled white oilskin. Well, what if it wasn't an outfit he was wearing, but that was his cold, pale alien skin? This, along with the fact that he could leap and jump high and far distances, is what led people to believe Jack might have been an alien. Moving on to number 9, we have the Lightning Man. Roy Cleveland Sullivan was a well-known forest ranger in Virginia for one reason. He had an attraction to lightning. Over his years, he had been struck by lightning 7 times. 7. And every time, he has been pretty much left uninjured. How is that even possible unless he's not a human? So the first time he got struck was in 1942. He was completely fine, he just lost a nail off of his big toe. Then 27 years later he got struck again. The only thing that happened to him this time was he lost the hair on his eyebrows. Then in 1970 he was struck again. His only injury was a small burn on his left shoulder. In 1972 it happened again and his hair was set on fire. So on and so on. So first off, why does lightning seem to be attracted to him? And 2, how has he managed to survive every strike? Well, there are a couple of theories out there. One is that maybe he's an alien. Maybe his alien buddies from space keep zapping him with their space lasers trying to get him to come back home. And that's why he's never killed. He's not even human at all. He's an alien. In our 8th spot today we have Akhenaten. And if you guys are liking this video so far, then smash that like button. It's believed that Pharaoh Akhenaten was not only in contact with aliens that were controlling him, but that maybe he was an alien himself. Now, if you look at the way he was depicted in ancient Egyptian drawings, it was different than all the other pharaohs and gods. They were often depicted as majestic gods, you know, they were good looking and they were muscular. Akhenaten is drawn the opposite. He's drawn with an elongated face and head, a long neck, small ribs, and a protruding belly. Why would they draw him like this? It must have been an accurate depiction of what he actually looked like, or else that's just insulting. The main fact that people were fixated on though was his elongated skull. Yes, back in the day some cultures would reshape their heads and faces, but they aren't able to add density to their heads. Akhenaten had a disproportionately large head that could not have been created by skull reshaping. So a number of people believe that Akhenaten was an alien, and he was sent down to rule ancient Egypt. Coming in at number 7 we have Osiris. The depictions of Osiris were always quite unusual because he was drawn with green skin. As a result, people think that he's out of this world. What else has green skin? Aliens. For starters, Osiris was the god of the underworld. He was a symbol of death and resurrection. As a result, he was depicted as a mummified bearded king holding a shepherd's crook and whip. According to a famous legend, he was actually killed by his brother who tore his body into 14 pieces. But in the end, he was resurrected by his wife. Now, if this story is true and not an actual myth, isn't it suspicious that a man with green skin died and then magically came back to life? As a result, a number of people believe that he was indeed an alien. In our 6th spot today, we have Nina Kulagina. Nina Kulagina was famous in the 1960s for having psychic powers. She had the powers of telekinesis, so she could move objects using her mind. On a number of occasions, she demonstrated her powers in front of people. She would place an object on the table and would be able to move it from one end to another. Obviously, you had skeptics, so every time she performed this trick, she was carefully observed. She was able to move matches, small boxes, and cigarettes. Even the Russian military got involved and would study her. In the end, she was actually recruited by the Soviet government to work for them. So how could it be that this woman had these powers? Maybe it's because she's an alien. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with George Gurdjieff. George was a 20th century mystic and philosopher. He was known for teaching something known as the fourth way. Basically, he believed that humans had a way to become more elite, that we just needed to awaken to a higher state of consciousness, and then we would be able to achieve full human potential. So the fourth way taught his disciples all about this. He talked about how we need to free our soul and increase and focus our intention to prevent absent-mindedness. From there, we would be a step closer to becoming a more elite form of humans. Now, what's eerie is that he never talked about the origins of his teachings. He wanted it all to be discreet. In fact, there are no traces of the schools he even went to. So what's the deal with this guy? Was he an alien trying to help humans advance or what? Moving on to number 4, we have Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a great, intelligent, and super talented artist and inventor. In fact, some believe that he was a little too intelligent for his time. So they believe he was an alien that was sent to Earth from space to help humans advance. For example, he proposed many modern day inventions in the late 1400s. That's hundreds of years before they were actually created. He came up with the idea of a tank, helicopters, submarines, self-propelled carts, aka cars, and machine guns. Maybe he already knew all about these inventions because aliens, being the advanced species that they are, already created them. Da Vinci's goal was then to share his insight on these inventions with the world. The only question is, why would the aliens want to help us? Coming in at number 3, we have Amelia Earhart. Amelia was a well-known American aviator who set numerous flying records. She is one of the most well-known explorers, and her disappearance has caused ongoing wonder. In 1937, Amelia set out with her navigator, Fred Noonan, to fly around the world. They were last heard from on July 2nd, 1937. 2 years later, she was declared dead. However, they never found her body. They just assumed that their plane crashed somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Nonetheless, they still spent 15 years looking for the pair. In fact, searching for Earhart was the largest and most expensive search in American history. Now, there's this absolutely wild theory out there that Amelia and Fred were both aliens, and they actually set out on this mission with no intentions of ever coming back. They actually needed to get back to their home planet, which is why their plane or bodies have never been found to this day. In our 2nd spot today, we have the magical healer. John D. Reese of Ohio was known for having the touch of God. Just by touching people, he had the power to heal a number of injuries and maladies. It all started in 1887. One of his friends fell off of a ladder and seriously injured his spine. His physician took a look at it and declared he had a severe spinal strain, but it was miraculously cured one day when Reese, for some reason, ran his fingers up and down the man's back. Instantaneously, the man's pain was gone and he was able to get up and move around no problem. Another person he healed was a shortstop of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He suffered a bad back injury mid-game and actually had to be carried out from the field. Again, John ran his fingers up and down his spine and he was magically cured. He also cured a politician's weak hand and wrist from overuse. Doctors told him he needed to rest his hand for weeks to get the strength back, but John touched his hand and it was instantly better. So this dude must have been an alien with magical powers or something, because how else could he cure people in an instant? And in our number 1 spot today, we have Count of Saint Germain. This guy is undeniably one of the most mysterious men in history. So Saint Germain was a philosopher that apparently had the ability to teleport, levitate, and walk through walls. Not only that, he's said to be immortal. Apparently he discovered the secret of alchemy and created an elixir that would grant eternal life to whoever drank it. Now, we don't know much about him.
Some people say he was born in the 1690s, whereas other people believe he was around during the birth of Jesus. One thing that's certain, he has appeared a number of times throughout history when he should have been dead. For example, it was 1760 and Saint Germain was invited for a soiree at the home of Madame de Pompadour, the mistress of King Louis XV of France. Now the Countess was shocked when she met him because he looked exactly the same, which was impossible because she met the Count in 1710 in Venice. When she met him, he was 45 years old. He shouldn't have been alive, but there he was and he had not aged a day. She was totally in shock by this, as anyone would be. Over the next 40 years, Saint Germain traveled all throughout Europe and never aged a day. Most recently, in 1972, a man named Richard Chanfray claimed that he was the one and only Count. He even went on to turn lead into gold on a camp stove to prove he was this legendary Count with magical powers. So due to the fact that this dude has magical powers and never ages and seems to be immortal, people believe that he is in fact an alien.